A day after presidential aspirant Gichugu MP Martha Karua cautioned Kenyans against electing a president who faces charges at the International Criminal Court, Meru Central MP Gitobu Imanyara has added his voice on the debate. Addressing a media briefing at his residence in Meru County, Imanyara said Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta and Eldoret North MP William Ruto, who are aspiring for the president, are non-reformers who don't deserve to benefit from the fruits of the second liberation.
Hatuwezi kukubali na Uhuru aelewe, hata tisha mtu yeyote kumwambia atapotea. Yeye aheshimu katiba yetu. Tunajua kuwa na sisi wakati tulikuwa tunapigania uhuru wa pili. Asifikiri tumesahau.
Imanyara, who recently resigned as the vice patron of Friends of Raila lobby group, asked Kenyans to be cautious of those seeking to be elected to power.
We in Meru refuse to be blackmailed. Na hatutatishwa ni yeye au ni mtu yeyote ndio tumpigie kura, kwa sababu kama yangu hatapata.
Meanwhile, two MPs from Embu County have criticized presidential aspirants for failing to fly to Baragoi in Samburu County, where scores of police officers were gunned down by cattle rustlers. Legislators Kenny Kivuti of Siakago and his Kenyatta counterpart Emilio Gadhuri claimed instead of flying to the scene of the bloody killings, the aspirants continued with their electioneering campaigns in ignorance of the tragedy.
If people purporting to be pushing for the presidency of this country can afford to hire a chopper to Northeastern, to wherever, to whichever corner of this country, if the very characters cannot be able to afford just to airlift the victims from Samburu Valley, I think they are cheating we Kenyans of goodwill.
Madera Member of Parliament Ephraim Maina has threatened to take legal action against the government for its negligence in dealing with the organized criminal gangs, which he says have executed innocent people on suspicion of being members of the proscribed Mungiki sect in central Kenya. Maina, who was speaking in his Madera backyard, took issue with an incident where a taxi driver from Madera was killed in cold blood by a vigilante group on suspicion of being a Mungiki member in Kirinyaga district 2 weeks ago.
Let nobody allow any grouping of people to take law into their own hands.
And in Nairobi County, two legislators, Kamkunji MP Yusuf Hassan and his Mathioya counterpart Clement Wambogo, have called upon the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to put their house in order and assure Kenyans that elections will not be switched from the March 4th, 2013 date as set by the Supreme Court. The MPs were speaking in Isili during celebrations to mark the World Orphans Day.
Be one and know that we need one another. There is no country, there is no individual or any part of this country that can be able to rule this country without the other.
Meanwhile, after the announcement of the 30 days voter registration exercise by the IEBC beginning next Monday, leaders aspiring for various elective positions in the coming polls are calling on the youth countrywide to turn up in large numbers and register as voters, while launching their political bids separately on an ODM party ticket. Acting Football Kenya Federation Vice Chairman Robert Asembo, who is vying for the Embakasi Central seat, and businessman engineer George Opio, who is vying for the newly created Ruaraka constituency parliamentary seat, criticized the slow issuance of identification cards to eligible voters, saying the case might bar the youth from the March 4th general elections.
Wewe kama mwananchi hauna cha kupigania ila maendeleo, uongozi mwema.
The aspirants argued that the IEBC might not reach its target of 18 million voters if the issuance of IDs is not fast-tracked. Thairu, Citizen 81.